And unfortunately, until today, the changes are not so much. There is part of the world that still uses the horses or animals to do their agricultures. So we adjusted the technology and advancement of technology to the agriculture to have a more effective way to do it. First stage was something like this, and it was more practical than IT. You already know it from the internet, probably. So this is only the beginning of agriculture and technology. As you can see, it's mainly a rough human labor, and it's not so sexy, let's say, or fancy to do it in agriculture. But the next stage was, for me, very interesting, and it looked like this. So it combines everything you know about the IT. You know the popular Internet of Things, you know the robotics, you know the software developments, and everything else. But first, why? There is two major problems in agriculture. One is time. You cannot pass the time. And second is average age in agriculture. So I will talk about our why. We began in, I think now, let's say 6 years ago, to produce organic food for premium segment. That's the top quality. And we try to do as everything else is done in Serbia, but as we know in Balkans also, the, let's say, old way, natural way. So everything is manual, everything is, let's say, roughly 50 years old techniques, and everything is repeating like a pattern. So for us it was very pleasant to be in the nature, in the field to do it, but it's not so financially responsible for us because there is no money in it. So we used the technology we could. This is the technology that we used in the first place, and it's okay, it's working, but we was not so satisfied with that. And we looked what others are using. And then we saw that strangely everybody else is using the same technology, and the age of that technology is the same like ours. And then we thought maybe we can do something better about it. We, as usually, ask the EU members or surrounding countries that is wealthier than ours and try to steal their knowledge, but the knowledge was the same. They're using the old technology. So we try to investigate what are the reasons for that. So we came across that there is 400,000 tractors today registered, and it was the same age of our tractor. We also, that average age of some machines are 27 years old, which is very, very old. And the age, average age of the people that are working in agriculture is 52. So, and the other facts are, when we started to know what is the IT in agriculture and what is the use technology in agriculture, we just easily see that, let's say the drones market, it's 8 billion market, and 80% is used in agriculture. Where are those drones then? So we investigate a little bit, most of them in America and wealthier agricultural countries, and we say, can we bring that knowledge to Europe, to Balkans, to Serbia concretely? We try to find some company which is currently doing it, and we find out that only 11 countries is specialized to IT in agriculture in Europe. On the Balkans, only one. So for us, that was one way, selfish way to improve our techniques, and the second, I saw it as a business opportunity. There is no so much companies like in software development, there is not so much companies in other IT structures. As we all know, the agriculture is always increasing, is demanding market. As we can see, 240,000 people daily are born. So it's increasing massively. And average investment in technology in EU is 25,000 euros. It's wrongly investment. And the 70% increase in agriculture should be to feed all these people. So we started to have ideas. What we can do with that technology in agriculture? Everything is thought that we are crazy. Why we need IT in agriculture? Especially the education of the agricultural people is on lower level. So they are not used and they are not so eager to start using the technology to do it. So first step was to educate people, to know there is IT in agriculture and there is practical use of it, not just telling startups and pitching about it. So we have several projects in the start to see how to be practical about it, how to sell something practical and useful to average agricultural guy. It was a very hard task because no one wants to change the way she or he is doing 60, 70 years in a row. So we started with something which is the most used in agriculture, it's water. The water is the crucial way for agriculture, and the pumps are usually electrical or manually. So the first thing was for us to deal with the water, how to deal it automatically, how to deal it easier way. And first of all was the solar pump. Solar pump is the usually electrical pump, but you use solar energy to run it. It was something that we used roughly 270 euros to implement it and to sell it for roughly 350 euros easily. So that was first impacts, first knowledge about that market, IT in agriculture, and everyone wants it. Second of it was automatization of the greenhouses. It's not some fancy modulars. In the first it was just a wind sensor with combined with a thermal sensor, and we used the motors for the blinds from our houses to lift and lower the sides of the greenhouses. So when there is a wind, heavier or not, to lower down the bags, and where is, I don't know, too much sun, always to lower down as usually as it is. And finally, we got to the final product. It was our first drone. Our first drone was basically started as a play because we like toys and we are mostly men in agriculture. And the first question is, why do we need the drone in agriculture? As you can see, you can read on the internet, it's for geotagging, it's for fertilizing, for everything else. But what is the practical use that you can explain to average agricultural people? Why do you need the drone? First of all, to have a context about it, it's when you want to have a field and you want something to see from an airplane, it's 1,000 euros per hour. To buy a drone, it's 1,000 euros once. Second of all, we upgraded our drone with some usual stuff that we need for ourselves. First of all was the image recognition camera. Image recognition was usually for the normatives of the packs that we use for the apples, for the plums and everything else. So he catch an image, he recognizes is it a full or not package, and then he sends us the information where we are. Second was face recognition, and if you heard about it in a Google talk now, the guy from the Google about the API visual, we use the same API. So we are let's say if you have the database of your workers, we use that API to recognize the face recognition, but not just for the control of the workers. We also use the, as you can see, there is an option for the, let's say, movement of your faces. So we use it also in medical terms. Is it someone injured or not? Is it happy or not? So basically, we need to use it practically because we need to sell it to the average guy, not to enterprise people. Second was the thermal camera. It was to see on the field, practically in real-time information, what is going on the field. Is it full? There is some diseases or not? Is it ready? Is it too much sun or something like that? So we can buy more time what to do. What is the next step? In agriculture, that is crucial. Third of all was what else we can do with the drone. So we try to see the first main problem for us was a battery. It's only lasts about 30 minutes. So we use the solar foil to cover it and to endure the battery to 55 minutes. So that was now roughly an hour of usable drone. That was very, very good for us. Second, how we can expand that either. Maybe to have some power station on the field to battery, extend the drones, the battery, and to see can he charge like some sort of AI. Then was the first problem, the software. Software development for the IT, especially for the agriculture, was very, very not so popular. It was 2 companies in Serbia. In Europe, there is roughly 15 companies that are doing like that. But they're only full for enterprise. So there is only for the enterprise people. So we tried to develop, and first of all, our start for the development was by ELANs. So we outsourced some Pakistan guy to write the code. It was not our famous solution. Second of all, we started to use the outsourcing companies to help with the development of the software. They didn't understand the practical usage of it. So let's say developer part was very good, but the practical part is what wasn't. And third of all, we started to finally, when you're going and asking about it, to have responses what you're doing now. So finally we got communication closer to some Belgian fund who was interested in investing in our drone for the Indian market. And of course, because we were a small company, IT company, we said, yes, please give us the money. But that was a mistake. Because Indian market is huge. And the first order for that was 5,000 pieces. 5,000 pieces of the drones, we, in theory, okay, it's easy, you make one, we multiply 5,000, it's okay, we have the project, we have some alpha, beta phase of the drone, so everything is good. Then we had a chance to play it with 7 of it. So there is, first of all, where to store 7 drones. Second, we charge manually hours, so to charge 7 drones, it's very difficult. Third of all, interference of the signals, because it's not encrypted, it got very disturbing for us, especially in the areas that you should have the best signals because it's not reachable by anything. So we started from the scratch. We encrypted our communication. We tried to isolate as much as we can drone, but then, as usually comes, the question, can they communicate with each other? Currently, we are developing that the 7 drones can lift a huge load. Averagely, one drone with 8 propellers can lift roughly, let's say, 15 kilograms like that. So 7 of it may be a man. And we tried once to lift a man. It is possible, the lighter one. But I don't recommend it. Second was because we are supermans. Yes, we can do it. But final stage didn't happen because the testing of 5,000 drones, we cannot support it. Also, the problem in the employment of those guys as developers was also a problem. Not just developers for the coders, it's like project management and let's say some architect was for us or too much expensive, because in let's say the first country that have something like that on a university is Italy, and the average rate of that guy is 1,200 euros per day. So for us that was unreachable. So we finally got to educate ourselves to be cheaper for the next project, because let's say for the money we didn't succeed this one. But we didn't realize that this is huge market. So we try to investigate what are others are doing, where are those people investing. You will be amazed who is dealing with agriculture and IT. The first of all, it's Yamaha. They have some huge helicopter for everything. He can lift roughly 400 kilos, so it's huge machinery. It's like in real life, it's like 2 meters by 1 meter. It's a huge vessel. And second of all, even we are the smallest one on that market, we have a go in that market. That's the crucial thing, because there is need for the IT in agriculture is a huge, especially for the market like China or India. They are huge markets. Nobody can populate that until now. And the funny thing is, you can join the market immediately. When you have some product, currently we are asking for our drone, everything said yes. Yes, I want to use the drone in agriculture. Yes, I know that is cost-saving measure. Yes, I know that is time-saving measure. Yes, I know it is a trend currently, but it is the future. Maybe not in a way of the drone, but IT in agriculture is the future, and the communication of the mechanization is the future. So we tried where can we get the funds, because the IT is in agriculture is everything. You can place it in a software development company, we can place it in hardware development company, you can place it in Internet of Things, you can place it in robotics, and everything is green energy. You can fund for any European fund you would like. It's Horizon, it's green energy, it's domestic one, Fond za razvoj. There is a huge funds, but the funds in a way that you can get, I don't know, 15,000 euros, 100,000 euros, it's not enough. But you can, for startup, you can have money easily. And for that, it's the best way, because you can start tomorrow. It's not like something you need to invest money 1 year, 2 years, and then to see what's going on. You can start tomorrow, because the competition is very low. Especially in Balkans, there is none. So our, let's say, conclusion for the something like IT in agriculture is something that it's a need, it's not a trend. We started only with a drone to test the market, and because it was useful for us, it was fun for us. But now we are investigating other purposes, like tractor on a solar energy, like any machinery with attached to the tractor, like sustainable agriculture farms, like modern farming, like precise agriculture, because whatever you do, it's an empty space. And you are surrounded by the every farm or needed for that doesn't know that it exists, but you can help it. Our way and our shutout now is to educate and to start as much companies can do it, because the education is the first part. The main problem for us is to educate other agricultural people that there is use technology in agriculture. So it's not to make a product, it's not to make a fund, it's how to some kind of sell it to the agricultural people. It's a long way. In our experience, you need 1 year, 1.5 years to educate some average agricultural guy. Our experience for, let's say, greenhouse automatization, we started as our neighbor has a small field far away, and we started to integrate the simplest way of the automatization for his greenhouse. He didn't trust us, even it was working well 3 months, then he semi-trust us next 3 months, and then in 1 year about I don't know, average 100 neighbors of his wanted that. So there is a line for it, but you need to educate that it is useful for them. This is the mainly part. Second of all, everyone is talking about innovations these days. It's something innovating. So whatever you do, you don't need to copy someone else or to steal someone else's idea. Whatever you do and you understand that it's practical, you're okay. You have market for it. Your idea can proceed. I always told that first, because of the business point of view, is how to fund it. For the startup and for first stage, it's easily to fund because many of the organizations now, government or not government, want to invest in there because there is no so much competition and it's a huge market. Only for the drones, it's $8 billion. And second of all, because this basically the base of agriculture has organic growth, you will have organic growth because every day you have someone who needs something, and you will have more farms and farms because we need more food and food because there is more and more people in the world. So second thing is cost saving. Cost saving for the agricultures, when you say to agriculture people cost saving is like, okay, I don't know what you're talking about. But when you can say, let's say on this field you invest 10K something and your average work about 14 hours a day, and you say I can do it twice as fast and twice as cheaper, he will listen. He will not understand, but he will listen. Next stage is to educate him how to do it by himself, because you will have, I don't know, you have a drone and you test it on his field and see, wow, look, I can now see this, that's fine. But now you do it, I can't. So you only halfway there. So education is the first difficult step. And that's strange because in startups, especially in IT, education is not the first step. Second of all, time saving. In agriculture, in nature usually, time saving is huge thing. Because when you have mistakes in agriculture, you will fix it next year. You cannot fix it immediately. So if you have the knowledge or the tools to have the time savings and to have the errors or mistakes in advance, that's the key point for selling to them, because he will say, okay, I now understand. If I make a mistake or I will know about the mistake earlier, maybe I can fix it immediately. Not when a fruit or final product comes. Third of all, it's environmental friendly. I don't like to talk about it because it's about cheesy topic for me, but it is. You are consuming less water, you are consuming less fertilizers, you are consuming greener energy. It is good. Better part of it, because you are environment friendly, you are ready to have the funds from the green fund, which is the huge one, and it is difficult to access it because you need to be 100% green or organic, or how do you want to call it, to access it. But now with the technology you can. And finally, it's practical. It's practical because whatever you do in agriculture needs to be practical, needs to be the final product to see it, because you in agriculture, in nature, you see the final product. But the difficult part of it, it's because the nature is always changing, your final destination, your final goal is changing. So you need to have the change request always time at a time, and you will never have that final product. Our practice, and because we can practice it easily, it's fun. We are practicing our drones with riding of the quads, and that's a fun for us. For me, to love what I'm doing and to have a fun on the work is the crucial. Second of all, there is also financing, so finance part of it, it's also a good one. And the third, how to tell people what you are doing. As you can see, when I'm doing IT in agriculture. Okay, what's that? And then you explain, I have a project like, I don't know, drone, tractor on solar energy, automatization of the greenhouses. Okay. Then you will, if you are talking to developers and say, I don't know, my office is in nature, I don't like to travel, I don't like bugs, I don't like to see it, I don't know what you're doing at the winter time or something like that. But everyone who will come to our testing polygon and to have to play with the drone, to drive the quads, to see how we are organized, to, let's say, try our food or some products, he was kept there. I want to work here. I want to be part of it because you're feeling good. You're doing something good. And except of something, let's say, the concrete products that we have in IT in agriculture, there is many others which we didn't talk about it. Software development or modern farming software, how to advanced what is soil, type of soil, what fertilizer to use, where if I have the practical thing in agriculture that many people doesn't have everything in one place, it's around country or that village or something like that, you need to have the data in one place. And if you have the data in one place, you are better than other. So you can strategically see what to do next. When you use the word strategically, when you use the words IT, technology, and everything in agricultural environment, nobody will listen. But when you use the practical sense, like let's say, let's test it on your field, let's test it in your product, let's test it in your environment, you will immediately have, how can I get it? And finally, for us, we are not talking about the trend, we are not talking about the future, we are talking about the present. And the mainly thing for it is to have as many, let's say, types of ITs in agriculture. Because whatever you do of IT, is it software, hardware development, is it just part of some of communication, is it some part of, I don't know, enterprise modules or something like that, you can apply in agriculture. Whatever you do in IT, you can apply also in agriculture. And that's also the big thing. Because whatever is using some big enterprise company for the communications, agriculture enterprises use it also. For example, we have opportunity to talk with one of the major in Serbia, Delta Agrar. They didn't know what is the IT in agriculture. They didn't know how to proceed next step for them. So the products was buy and sell for them only, and we show them in the statistics how can improve that. So for example, they invest roughly 2 million euros yearly in agriculture. With that investment in IT, we calculated that 280% increase will be. And of course, as that meetings is go, sure, why not? But when we tested in a field and we increased on some sort of apples, the increase was 130%. And they was, okay, I now know what you're talking about. We have time to organize it. And then the final step was, who will do it? Delta Agro roughly has 3,000 people. Nobody can do it. Nobody is educated to do it, IT and agriculture. So our challenge was to be user-friendly. How to something like that be user-friendly? How only on the press on the button to happen something at that guy that understands what is happening, so if anything wrong gets it, he understands what to do. Our solution is to have some educational center, and for us, roughly there is 1 month or 2 months to educate usually the specialized experts in agriculture how to use it. For it's too lazy way to do it, so we need to have the faster way for that, but we didn't think until now what to do next. Basically, if you want to be some IT guy and you want to have some startup, my proposition is start it in agriculture. Whatever your knowledge is, you can use it in agriculture. Whatever your surrounding is, it's agricultural. And only you need to have patience to educate your customer, your agricultural people, so he can understand what you're doing for it, what is the benefits for him, and how he will do it themselves or himself. Our way of fighting it is time, but we are lonely. So it's not like we ask for the competition. No, we have none currently competition. But we ask other companies to be our competition and to help us educate themselves. And to educate agricultural people, the market will rise. That's the basically thing. For, let's say, we had last week a talk with some German mid-size agricultural farm. They invested 250,000 euros last year in their IT, precise agricultural, and then for that money we can do, because we are many cheaper and we are cheaper like country cheaper, we can do the twice of that. And for the next year he will contact us because of it, because we are cheaper. And second of all, because he understands what is the benefit of IT in agriculture in a money way. To bring that entrepreneur thinking to ourselves, to Balkans, not just Serbia, we go to Slovenia, we went to Macedonia, Skopje, we went to surrounding countries, is the same thing. No one is doing it. So when you're talking to some experts also, he understands what you're talking about, and nobody will do it. Final thing for us is also to be able to estimate what is the next trend. We accidentally, our drone, because of the, let's say, lifting capabilities, we started to offering to the medical people, and they said yes. Yes, we want the drone to lift the medical equipment. We want to maybe a person, but I don't think so. But for the medical equipment, to send it somewhere that it cannot be possible, but other means, Yes, I will. For the pharmacy also. They want IT in agriculture, especially because they're relying on agriculture. So there is not only the market, agricultural market, there is surrounding market. Funny story was when we was in Vienna, we was talking about the IT in agriculture, and our first question was from insurance guy. Okay, so if he knows this and this, and if he has IT in agriculture, he has possibility to do this, time saving, cost saving. This is interesting for us. Maybe we can sponsor it because we can then easily insure the agricultural fields and products. So there is also the market there for agriculture people. Bottom line, whatever you are selling through agriculture and IT in agriculture, you can sell to other departments close to it. For me, this is it. I know this is the 5 o'clock, everyone is tired. So if you have any questions, shoot. If not, let's go to cocktails.
How do persons, agricultural people that are buying your products,
Yeah.
do they have problems with stealing, with somebody wanting to steal their products or something like that?
Yes or no, but let's say some part of agriculture it's security way, yes, but that usually happens that they already know who is stealing in the practice. So if you want to deal with it, you will deal. There is no like, I don't know, in my knowledge, there is some, I don't know, IT stealing drones that stealing products and something like that. But usually who steal the products is organized and it's usually in a percentage. Nobody steals 100% of the product.
Yeah, well, my question was more like, for instance, I have a garden in a village close to Belgrade.
Yeah.
I want to automate it or do something like that, and some agriculture IT would certainly help to it.
Yeah.
And then if I were to automate that and only come on weekends,
Yeah.
would that disappear?
That's a good question. Our practice, no, because if you have sustainable farm, like once a week you are coming, you will for sure have some cameras and something like that security way to ensure that it's there. Usually sustainable farms are not easily accessible because in agriculture your surrounding is very important. So we don't have some knowledge that someone intentionally go to steal something from the garden. Maybe by accident or near the road, but intentionally, no. Thank you. Yeah.
Can you tell us what does the drone actually do? What is its job?
He has multiple purposes. First purpose is when you're in a field, especially with it's not in one place, to control the workers, to see if someone is injured, every worker is in place, accountable, some is lazy. Second of all, it's to by image recognition to see the status of your field. Let's say it's some products, fruits are finished or not finished or semi-finished, or do you need to fertilize more something, or do you have problem with a rainy day, or do you have problem with something like heavy rain or something like that. Third purpose is if you, let's say if you Google or watch YouTube site in agriculture, you will always see that's a huge flat field. But in practice, it's not like that. Our Shumadia, it's hilly and everything. It's not so easy accessible. So by the drones, it's very accessible not to go even by foot. There is that. just send the drone and pick up the information. And basically the main thing of the drone is real-time information. So you don't need to have once a week or once a day or early in the morning. You can just send the drone and pick up information anytime in the day. There is the cons of that. Drones are loud, so the bees are hearing roughly 5 kilometers in the radius. So if you have honey or something, bees, keeping bees, you will disturb them. And the second thing is the birds. We have almost two accidents with the birds. So there is not so, until now for us, it's not so secure solution for the birdie environment. But we are developing some sort of eye now to recognize by the image what is the bird and to try to not be some, let's say, hit or something like that. So, and the final thing of it can fertilize, but we are not recommending because the wind is main, let's say, the biggest impact on the drone can be by wind. So wind can disturb as drone as you can fertilize something else, which is not good in agriculture. So there is bad side of the drones. It's not 100% secure, but in many practical ways, when it's the environment good and it's roughly 80% good, you can use it for many things. For purpose of us, we use it for the tools, to transportation of the tools. When our tractors broke and it's far in the field, you just send the easy tools to the guy to fix the tractor, so it's useful like that, but it's not his main purpose. And we use for some light, let's say, distribution to send food or something like that, but it's only in testing phases for us. So that is the purpose. The purpose can be not only in agriculture. We are now attacking the medical market, so it can bring stuff, lift stuff, scan stuff, status of the injuries or something like that. We have, let's say, some beta phases of the image recognition of the injuries of the people, because it's, let's say, common to workers to injure in the agricultural way. So we have by image recognition the way to understand, is it big or lower injury, what is the status. So that's basically that purpose also, and we're trying that model to sell it to the medical market.
My question now is, when you explain the purpose, and as you're saying, main purpose is like surveillance, controlling.
Yeah.
And then you said that you went to Delta Agrar,
Yeah.
with the apples, and
Yeah.
your drone can improve their profitability
Mhm.
or the cost. I mean,
Yeah.
how?
Um,
Surveilling the workers or make them work?
that was one of the thing, because they have huge number of workers. So to workers have in mind that they are controlled by something, they increase their productivity. Second of all was the surveillance of the final products when the apple is ready. So because in an agricultural field, nothing is ready in the same time. So you can strategically combine with your machinery how to strategically position them, so you cannot, I don't know, send them to some part of the field unintentionally or intentionally, and there is no purpose for that. So cost saving is by fuel, by using the machinery. Cost saving is by human labor. How much fertilizer you need for the dead particle part of the field, because by thermal camera you can see by images, is it ready or not, do you need a more fertilizer or not. So you don't need to buy a stocks of fertilizer for the fall field, you need to buy for only that part. We also have now in the beta phase the communication with the weather satellite. And in communication with that you can see if there is heavy storm or something like that in the field, so he can see immediately what is the damage of it. And you can imagine whatever you imagine and whatever you ask for some needs, you can do it.
Usually the wood fields at least are covered by a protective net.
Yes, but yes and no. The cost of that net is roughly 20,000 euros per hectare, which not so many agricultural people has the money to do it. So it's much, for him it's much cheaper to invest, I don't know, 1,000 euros to the drone. So he can see what is the damage, and to see, because with the drone you have a software with let's say weather control, something like that. So you can see roughly what exactly part of your field will be hit. So you can do something.
My question was more about the fields that already have a net. Is that some problem that
Yes, because that net it,
to be able to work properly?
that net it's not used all the time, it can spread or put it back. So usually you need to have a time to spread the net because you have information about the bad weather. For our purposes, we are now finishing the model for automatization of that, and it will be very cheaper because it's using the standard, let's say, shields for that, so it's not some implementation so many expensive. And our practice is to do it as practical as it can, to be as cheaper as we can.
You mentioned that there is a way to come to your company.
Yeah.
When it is possible,
Yes, we are in Zaklopača, it's near Belgrade, it's way to Grocka. We have there the fruits and vegetables, so we are testing the greenhouses there also and the drones, so you can come by anytime, just bring us and that's it. But there is always someone there because there is many and people and companies which is daily coming to see what we are doing and how can they involve. Yeah.
Did you thought about fleet management of many drones? For example, to
Yeah. Yeah, for the fleet,
use, for example, in the time of flood.
for the fleet, our experience that you need to have AI for the fleet because they must be the standalone, especially for the battery. So the drone needs to be capable to recharge himself. For that, we currently have a problem because you don't know what will happen in the way back with the drone. Maybe the wind strong, maybe the storm, maybe some bird, I don't know, some electricity or something like cable or something like that. So we are currently investigating how to predict the coming back path and how to predict where to charge, because in practice, our practice problem is when you have many drones, they collide each other because their communication is not so, let's say, it's similar. The radius of the radio frequency is similar. Yeah.
So
yes, the communication, I understand the communication between them, it's very complex job, and it's in our practice we didn't more than 7 drones, we cannot in the way communicate because the radius, the average, let's say by meter you spread it, interference of the signal is huge. So we tried with encryption, but even then there is a lost package or interference. I don't know what will happen with a huge fleet of it. Anything else? No? Thank you all. I hope you heard something useful. Bye.